Thanks for the hat, Robin. Apparently it likes me. It has developed a fondness for my head. It's interesting energy today. It's good energy. Yesterday was bad, but today is like a freshening. And I just had a passenger. You know, what I think it is, all this, the talk of everybody being asleep and this and that, you know, NPCs, that stuff, what it really is that anybody who's aware, for the most part, has conditioned themselves not to bring it up because that's been the norm. The norm is not to bring it up, not to talk about it. So what I've found when I don't hold on to this NPC idea, which I have dropped, it's there in the background as like an informer, but for the most part I don't apply that to people anymore mentally. When I don't do that and I just interact with people that are here in the vehicle, then all of them are aware. They're aware in their own way, and they choose to portray a certain aspect of themselves in the conversation. It's more of a game that everybody's playing, that it's a game of let's not talk about the elephant in the room type of thing. That's how it's been up until this point. But even now, you know, I'm literally having more passengers in here who, if I talk about topics, any of them, you know, multiple topics we've ever discussed here on this channel and in other channels, just stuff, you know, not hiding behind conditioning and all that, then people know. And there's no more Gestapo trying to yell at you or put you in jail if you talk about it. I think that was there in the past, but I don't think it's here anymore. The only thing that's still here is the remnants of the programming that still lingers in your consciousness, or the remnants of fear. If you still have that stuff, if you haven't worked through all your traumas, then you still have triggers and things that you unconsciously avoid while you're having a conversation. Because you will never know what level of constriction you're actually under unless you try it. If you've been holding yourself back from doing something, or just feeling generally suppressed, until you try walking outside of that self-imposed box that you hopped into, then you don't know if you can do it or not. And in my experience, nobody's stopping you, nobody's stopping me. I still act in a certain way so as not to, you know, draw undue attention, but I've never had somebody come up and talk about whatever it is that I'm doing in some sort of a negative way, unless they're trolls, and trolls are just trolls. They don't have power, they just act mean and look ugly. So I really feel like the thing we've been talking about is that there has been an energetic cage on everybody, or spell casting, you know, hypnosis, voodoo magic in dark rooms, whatever. There has been that, certainly. And there has been some sort of invader species that we can't detect. I mean, there is a lot of stuff going on underneath the surface, but as far as us having the freedom to creatively live our lives and involve other people, nobody's stopping you from doing that. Yes, if you go out on a power trip and try and force things, then you'll get a spanking, but not by the bad guys. You'll get a spanking by the universe itself, by the very essence of the whole. You'll get a spanking by that. I've never gotten spankings by bad guys. I've never had a bad guy come and say, hey, you know, you should not be doing that. None of them have ever talked to me once. If anything, it's my own self that I get a backlash from doing retarded shit, or indulging in desires too much, or having too many fantasies that don't match up nearly enough with what I see outside of my own eyeballs. And this whole idea, the whole idea that there's some cause and effect, like, I've talked about this before, but cause and effect is ridiculous. It has nothing to do with anything. It only has something to do with on the spiritual, energetic level. Then cause and effect has something going on. There are residual effects, there are ripples that go out and touch other people and beings and life forms, and they come back to you. That's true. Physical cause and effect is complete horse shit. The physical thing is held within the moment, which is like 2 seconds long, or 1 second. The moment is a millisecond wide. You can't even tell how wide it is. It's hard to describe, but with the exception of some things in nature happening, like, you know, say an avalanche, that's some sort of cause and effect that takes minutes to play out. Glaciers, that's cause and effect physically, that takes a long time to play out. But for the most part, what you're seeing, witnessing, is not like hitting a billiard ball and then the second you hit the first cue and that goes and knocks into the other balls, then that thing plays itself out in a deterministic fashion directly regulated by the laws of physics. That is not how this realm is. It just isn't. You do that thing, you throw an object, it goes and clatters, and then it stops. For the most part, everything here is quiet and still, and it's perceived motion. Which of course goes back to, you know, simulation theory and all that, which makes a lot more sense than some sort of billiard ball type physicality. Anyway. What's going on with you guys? I just sit here and yap about stuff, but I don't hear what's going on. I hear a little bit, but tell me what you're doing. What are you doing in your life? Are you being a billiard ball that got whacked from your first cue hitting the ball was when you popped out of your mom, and then it all just is playing out like it just has to, and there's no other way? Or in every single moment you have the opportunity to do this, do that, do the other thing, do nothing. Call one person, call 1,000 people, call no people. Which situation are you living? And if you're not doing the latter, i.e. infinite possibilities always within reason in your present moment, which is the only thing that exists, if you're not doing that, then why not? Anyway, gotta go. Peace.